Hey everybody, hope you guys are doing good today, and thank you very much for joining in to watch the channel today. Much appreciated. And today I'm going to give you guys truly a secret bait. I mean, we talk about secret baits and techniques a lot. Some are more so than others, but this is truly a secret bait that I can promise you that 99.9% of the bass fishermen out there probably have never used or have never heard about. And so I'm going to let you guys have all the secrets on this today. But anyway, before we get started, a couple different things. First of all, I just want to thank everybody. I've been getting a lot of comments from some of the viewers, like, with tips to help me out with the channel, like tips on how to make better video quality or just this and that. So I really appreciate you guys, the tips that you put in. And you may have noticed also that I've got a little intro to the channel now that says, I'm holding up a fish and it says Intuitive Angling with Randy Blockett. Just know that I'm not going high tech on you guys. That was completely my 12-year-old stepson Owen's idea. We were driving to Joplin the other day, and he said, man, he goes, he's really good with computers and stuff. He goes, man, let me get you an intro together. And I said, man, I don't really want an intro. I don't want music or nothing like that. So he played with it and played with different stuff, and he came up with that, and he put that on there. So I thought I'd include it. See what you guys think. Shoot me some comments if you guys like it or not. If nobody likes it, I can take it off or I can leave it on. But anyway, that's what that came about, how that came about. So anyway, let's get into today's video a little bit. The secret bait I'm going to share with you guys is called the Megabass X70 jerkbait. And I want to show you guys, and this is truly a finesse jerkbait. It doesn't get any more finessey than this. And I'm going to show you, here it is, it's the X70. Megabass. A lot of people probably have never seen it. And to give you a size comparison, here's the Megabass 110 plus 1 next to it, which is the standard jerkbait size most people use. So you can see how much more giant, or how tiny this bait really is. This bait right here initially, I think it was designed for trout fishing, and how I got onto it is Megabass sent me some a long time ago. I mean, I'm talking 20 years ago. They sent me some of these, and the first time I used it, I was on a trout fishing trip with Jerry McInnes, and Jerry and I were floating the White River in one of his river boats there, and I started throwing this X70, and I started catching a lot of big brown trout and rainbow trout on the thing. And I was at a tournament the next year. I was at a tournament at Lake St. Clair in Michigan. Great smallmouth jerkbait lake up there. And anyway, I'd been catching them on a jerkbait pretty good, but the wind died off. I mean, it got, the water up there super clear, the wind died off, and I had a lot of fish following my jerkbait, my 110, but they weren't getting it, these big smallmouth. So I kept thinking, man, I've got to downsize, I got to go to a more finesse approach. And I just happened to have some of these X70s in the boat that Jerry and I had been fishing with, and I tied it on and started ripping the big smallmouth on it. And ever since then, I've sort of adapted it to different fishing conditions around the country, and I'm sort of going to tell you when it works and the best situation for it. First of all, this thing is light. It throws like a potato chip, so you've got to throw it on obviously a spinning rod, no more than 6-pound test line. Ideally, 4-pound test is a lot better. You can go down to 4-pound test fluorocarbon, like I use the Seaguard Vizex fluorocarbon. You can get another foot or so of depth out of it, and you can get about probably another 15 or 20 feet of distance on the cast by going to 4-pound test line with it. It's strictly an open water jerkbait, so you don't have to worry about losing them or breaking them off, because you can just fight the fish down anyway. With 4-pound test fluorocarbon line, this bait will get down to probably 4 feet, in that range right there. So the effectiveness on this particular jerkbait is on two different situations. Number one is in super clear water, when you are fishing a situation where the fish will come up on a bait, because since it only goes 4 foot deep, you can still fish this bait over 8 to 15 feet of water if it's really clear, and the fish will come up on it. And so if I'm in a clear water situation, pre-spawn situation, late pre-spawn a little bit better, where I'm catching fish on traditional normal jerkbait type structures like main lakes, secondary points, over ditches, around docks, that type of stuff, it gets super tough, it clears off, it gets bluebird skies. I can still catch them on this X70 by making those long casts in that clear water with no wind, and will still come up out of deeper water and get it. The other situation I like to use this one in is if the water visibility is sort of in that 3 to 4 foot range and those fish are shallow. Say those fish are setting up in like 3 to 5 foot of water in the pre-spawn, maybe on chunk rock banks, maybe on shallow secondary points. So I've got that 3 to 4 foot visibility water where this bait is getting down into that 3 to 4 foot zone, and it's a really an effective bait under those situations. This bait is going to work best when you're fishing around a lake that has a mixed species, largemouth spotted bass and smallmouth bass. Seems like to me those are the lakes that it does the best on. Never done really good on this bait on a straight largemouth lake, but if you're fishing lakes across the country that have that mix, say for example Lake Norman, North Carolina, Lake Lanier in Georgia, you know, any of the eastern Tennessee lakes that have the smallmouth and spotted bass, this is a real key deal. But anyway, this is my Finesse Secret jerkbait. Colors, the same deal. I like to use the metallic finishes on the brighter days when you have sun and maybe a little bit of wind. And on the days where it's calm with not much wind, you know, I'm using the flatter finishes, that type of stuff. But most of all, I tie this thing on when it gets really tough. When they're biting a normal jerkbait, or if they're biting a small swim bait, conditions get super tough and you lose your wind, try the Select 70 Finesse jerkbait. And I can promise you right now, you'll get bites that nobody else does on a jerkbait with it. So anyway, that's my secret jerkbait right there that I've never really told anybody about before. It's very situational. It's the type of deal where you're not going to go out and catch a lot of big fish on the thing, but as far as, you know, getting a limit of fish, it'll put a limit of fish in the boat for you pretty quick under the right conditions. So anyway, hope you guys are doing good. Thanks again for tuning into the channel. Really appreciate it. And we'll be back tomorrow with another tip. See you.